primary suspect, a mystery man who dates his victims before he kills them. Girl dinner! That was a great way to spend my morning. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Kira Julianne, and I make bookish content here on YouTube. It's been a little while since I've done a reading vlog, so I figured today is the perfect day to start that, or I guess tonight, since it's nighttime at this point. But I'm really excited. We're in the middle of October, and I think it's about time to pick up like a spooky book, like maybe a mystery thriller, although I'm kind of also feeling a fantasy, but I think I'm leaning more towards like a mystery thriller, which I haven't read in so long. Currently, I am on the last book in the Zodiac Academy series. I'm doing a reread. The first time I read it was last October, and it changed my life, so I decided to do a reread. I started it in August because I just wasn't really feeling like reading anything. I think I had just finished reading the Empyrean series, and I just was like, nothing's gonna compare besides Zodiac Academy, and it really did heal me. But I've been reading it for a while. There are like 9 books in the series. I started the reread in August. It's now mid-October. I'm 86% of the way through reading it on my Kindle because, as you guys know, or if you saw my last video, I kind of talked about how I don't have all the physical copies of the books, but I do have the first one, and it is my goal to just collect the rest of the series because it's literally one of my favorite series ever. If you've heard anything about Zodiac Academy, it's not like a masterpiece work of art. Like, it's kind of like your favorite guilty pleasure fantasy series, but it is just so good. The found family in it is so amazing. The romance, it's a bully romance in the beginning anyway, which was new for me, but it's just so good. I love everything about it. It has like every single aspect that I would love in a fantasy series. It has it, and I'm very, very sad that I'm almost done with this reread. I keep thinking back to the beginning books, and I feel like if you've read this series, maybe you can relate. Like, the beginning books especially are so cozy. It feels like so much of it happens in the fall, and they're at school. Just the way that you get to really get to know the characters. I feel like a lot of times, like, books aren't written in this way, where you spend so much time with the characters that you kind of start to feel like you know them personally. I feel like Zodiac Academy literally nails this, and yeah, I'm just gonna miss it so much. In the meantime, I definitely want to pick up a new book. So originally I thought that I was gonna pick up When the Moon Hatched, but I think I have been reading so much fantasy. I think I'm gonna wait on this, especially because I feel like spooky season is gonna be over soon. So if I want to read some mysteries and thrillers, which I typically like to do during spooky season, now is the time to start. I do have one that's been on my radar. Let's go over to the other side, which is where my mystery thrillers are. This is my mystery thriller shelf, which I've read most of these, but I think right now the one that I'm really the most interested in reading is The Boyfriend. Also, while I'm looking up here, I'm seeing my copy of Normal People. I read Normal People like 3 years ago, but I just for the first time watched the series, and I felt all the feelings that I felt when I finished this book. Empty, sad, just like pain, really. I think we're gonna end up reading The Boyfriend to start. This is by Freida McFadden. I've been wanting to read a Freida McFadden book for the longest. I bought this book, The Housemaid is Watching, just to realize that it is the second book in the series, so I've still yet to read a Freida McFadden book, but I think it would be perfect to start with this one. Sydney Shaw, like every woman in New York, has terrible luck with dating. She's seen it all: men who lie in their dating profile, men who stick her with the dinner bill, and worst of all, men who can't shut up about their mothers. But finally, she hits the jackpot. Her new boyfriend is utterly perfect. He's charming, handsome, and he works as a doctor at a local hospital. Sydney swept off her feet. Then, the brutal murder of a young woman, the latest in a string of deaths across the coast, confounds police. The primary suspect? A mystery man who dates his victims before he kills them. Sydney should feel safe. After all, she is dating the man of her dreams. But she can't shake her own suspicions that the perfect man may not be as perfect as he seems, because someone is watching her every move, and if she doesn't get to the truth, she'll be the killer's next victim. So it's a dark story about obsession and all the things we'll do for love. Kinda creepy, and I'm home alone tonight, which ups the creep factor. So I think this is a good one to start with. Let's do it. I'm briefly stepping in to interrupt this video because I have the coolest thing to share with you guys today. Later on in today's video, you guys are going to see me sitting in the coolest chair, and you guys are probably going to be wondering, where did she get that from? So I thought I'd save you guys the time and just tell you, this is the swivel and rocker recliner chair from FlexiSpot, and this is specifically the Lotus version, so you have much more space on either side, perfect for sitting cross-legged if you're like me and like to sit crisscross applesauce. But additionally, there are a couple of other cool specs that I want to share with you guys about about this chair. On this side, we have a pocket that comes out, so you can put things in it like your Kindle, or if you have some sticky tabs or some pens, some pencils, anything that you need for your reading pleasure can go in this pocket. And the next feature is that this chair actually opens up into a recliner, which is perfect for your late night reading. I am so excited to have this new addition in my book space. I feel like this was what was missing, like the perfect reading chair to create the perfect reading nook in this room. And so I want to thank FlexiSpot so much for allowing me to try out this chair and share it with you guys. And if you guys are interested in getting one for yourself, I'll share the link in the description below and you can click on it and it'll take you right to the chair. Back to today's video. So I'm at my dining room table, which is where I'm going to start reading this book. I'm hoping that this won't be like too obvious in terms of like who the real culprit is. And guys, I haven't even started reading and I'm already getting creeped out because like I said, I'm here by myself right now. There's gonna be a plot twist. I don't think that it's gonna like immediately start off with us like suspecting the guy that she's dating. And I actually don't even think that the guy that she's dating would be the serial killer because I feel like that'd be like way too obvious, but I guess we'll find out. And yeah, I'm just hoping that like this like actually shocks me and like I don't predict how it's gonna go. But I'm excited because like I have not read a mystery thriller in so long and they're always just so exciting, you know, just like being on the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's happening. My popcorn's done. Let me go grab that. Girl dinner. I'm hungry, but I'm not that hungry. And since my husband's not eating dinner here tonight, I'm like, why cook something? Popcorn for girl dinner, scary book, some candles. I don't know if you guys can see that. I have some candles lit here. And we're gonna have a good time. Okay, so I've made it to chapter 4 and I'm on page 21, and so that's the beginning of chapter 4. So I've read the first 3 chapters, if everybody's following. Okay, because that was confusing the way that I said it. So there was a prologue which kind of introduced this character named Tom, who's talking about how he's infatuated with this girl, but he's scared to find out that she returns the feelings because basically reveals that he is a serial killer. Siri keeps turning on every time I say series or serial killer or anything like that. So that was the prologue. And then the next 3 chapters are introducing our main character, Sydney. She is on this date with a guy that she met through a dating app. He's late to the date after he already pushed it back. And then on top of it, when he gets there, he looks nothing like his profile picture. So she's been catfished. To top it off, he has a terrible personality. He is very rude to her. He's condescending. He's telling her that she looks fat in the outfit that she decided to wear. So just like not giving the best vibes. And her best friend is supposed to call her like 20 minutes into the date that she can have like an out if she wants it, but the best friend never calls because she's happily in a relationship and her man are together. They're having a good time and she loses track of time. She does not call until 45 minutes into the date when Sydney is in the bathroom trying to figure out how to escape this date. Friend calls. Sydney's like, I forgive you for leaving me stranded on this date. However, you're too late and yeah, I'm gonna get out of here as soon as possible. The guy decides he wants to walk her home. So the date's not over. And then the most jerk move of all, he tries to basically tell her that she has to give him a kiss. And then when she says no, he starts to make unwanted advances on her. All of a sudden, this guy shows up. He's like, hey, like what's going on here? Now this guy that comes into the picture to save her from her date, she finds him very attractive. She feels like they have this moment right off the bat. I don't even know how this can happen in such a small amount of time in a high stress situation where she's basically trying to get rid of one guy, but she feels like they have some kind of connection and like they're vibing. But basically after everything's sorted out and they get rid of the guy, he's like, all right, good night. And she's like, what the heck? Like I thought, you know, he was gonna ask for my number or something. I'm like, girl, why would he ask for your number? Anyway, so that's where we are. That's where we are right now. And the next chapter, chapter 4, starts with Tom again. And his chapters seem to be like in the before. So it's kind of like Sydney is happening right now in the future. And Tom is in the before, and we know that Tom is a serial killer. We just don't know who Tom is. Like, Tom could be the guy that tried to save her from this date. Tom could be the guy that she was on a date with. We don't know. That'll be interesting. And I think like the revealing of who Tom is where we'll find our plot twist here, if that makes sense. Again, I just hope it's not something super obvious. I kind of have another idea in my head about who it could be, but I don't think we've met all the characters that we're going to meet, so it's a little too soon to tell. I am going to go sit on the couch and continue reading, and I'll update you guys if anything interesting happens. You guys, good afternoon. I went to sleep at I stopped reading at 4 a.m. this morning, and I did not fall asleep until about 5 a.m. I feel unwell, but I could not put this down. I can't even explain to you how I read until 4 a.m., but like I had to keep reading. It was a page turner, quite frankly. Honestly, the female main character is insufferable. She has zero survival instincts. Like, I was just so mad. There were so many times where I was like just yelling at the book like, girl, put the pieces together, stay with me, like, let's, you know, keep it together. But she couldn't keep it together. She could not put the pieces together, and that was infuriating. But I will say that the plot twist had my jaw on the ground and my mind reeling for like 30 minutes after closing the book to try to go to sleep. So plot twist, so good, so worth it. I am currently on page 327 and I have this much left, so I'm gonna sit here and finish it, because now that we know who the serial killer is, and it's a mind-blowing reveal, I have to figure out how we got here. I did not see it coming. I thought I had like a pretty good idea of who the person could be. I felt like it wasn't the obvious choice, but really and truly I did not see this coming. I'm gonna finish reading this. And that was a wild ride. I've never read a thriller with so many just interesting characters. That was interesting. I would say that like this was like a very easy read. Honestly, it didn't take too much brain power. It was like written very straightforward. The one thing I will say is that the plot twist was really, really good on this. But if I have to rate this, I've been thinking about this, and I think I'm gonna rate it like a 3.5. It's a good read, fun read, fast pace, page turner, good plot twist. So first book done. Read that in less than 24 hours, which is crazy. I'm gonna do a book haul, but this is one of the books I picked up. It is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. It is a mystery thriller. I just finished reading a thriller, so I'm kind of like in my thriller bag right now. Few days later, and I wanted to give you guys a little reading update. So I started reading The Midnight Feast a few days ago. This is one of Lucy Foley's, I think it's one of her like more newer releases, and I was really excited to read it because I've read 2 other books by Lucy Foley and I really just like her writing style, as well as just like the feel that her thrillers have. I don't really know if anybody can relate to that, but there's just like a really cozy feel to them, even though they're actually usually pretty sinister and kind of creepy. But yeah, this was a highly anticipated thriller read for me this year, and I'm having a blast so far. It's so good. It's funny because I was thinking about the difference between this book and The Boyfriend, and I was trying to figure out like how they differed because they're both really creepy. Nobody asked, but if anybody wanted to know, the way that I would differentiate these two is like in The Boyfriend, it was kind of like when you watch like a horror movie and you know that something bad's about to happen to the main character, and like you can see all of the elements aligning for something disturbing to happen, and the main character just doesn't see it, and you're like shouting at them like behind the door. Like it's literally that is how The Boyfriend was. Like our main character was ignoring all of the signs, like zero ability to put 2 and 2 together. Oh god, this book is very different because I feel like we are just as confused and on the outside as the main characters are, or actually honestly the main characters know more than we do, and we are slowly uncovering these things about them that are just mind-blowing or just crazy. And I really liked that because you start the book and you genuinely have no clue where it's gonna go, except that somebody's gonna be dead most likely, or like just like something nefarious is at play. But it's so interesting because it's like the characters are actually hiding so much from you, and like little by little you kind of get to be in on the secret. So I've been really enjoying this. I was reading this last night and I was having a really hard time putting it down. It's reached that point in a thriller where like things are just popping off left and right and it's just getting insane. It was really hard to put it down, but I'm this much of the way through. I'm on page 254 of 350, I believe, and so I'm almost done. I'm so close to being done. I only have 100 pages left. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that update. I'm gonna read some more tonight and I'll let you guys know what's going on. This is the biggest plot twist ever. I'm in a state of shock. I'm having an out-of-body experience. So good. Lucy Foley has done it again. I can't even begin to imagine how she comes up with these stories. They are so intricate and you just never know what direction it's going. There were so many huge plot twists and reveals that I just did not see coming, and that's why I love Lucy Foley. And also just the quality of her writing is so good. I'm honestly very impressed by this book. I think this is my favorite book that I've read by her this far. I'm honestly gonna give this a 4.75 out of 5, and only because I feel like at some points we could have moved the plot along a little bit quicker, but this was such an amazing thriller. I'm so happy that I read this, and yeah, highly recommend if you're looking for a thriller to read. That was a great way to spend my morning.